My name's Jacob Williams, and over the next couple weeks I'm going to talk to you about some vines that can be problems for us in our landscape here up in the mountains. The one that I want to focus on today is poison ivy. I've got some poison ivy right here. It's growing up on this oak tree that we've got right here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about how to identify poison ivy and how you can treat it so that you don't have it growing up and taking over a big white oak tree like we've got going on right here. In poison ivy identification, the main thing that we're going to be looking for is groups of threes. So we see three little leaflets here. Technically speaking, those all make up one leaf, and it's three leaflets on one leaf. The color can vary from plant to plant, so the color is not really a great way to identify it, and shape can also vary a lot with poison ivy. So looking for those groups of threes is a great way to start on poison ivy identification. Here we can see a poison ivy vine, and so this is where this whole poison ivy plant, it goes into the ground. There's another root right there coming up out of the ground, and this vine travels all the way up this white oak tree. And so the poison ivy leaves on this tree are so thick that we can hardly see the oak leaves on it. But I'll show you how to treat this vine. And so we'll kill this vine, kill the root, so that it won't be a problem for us. So when we have a situation like this where the vine is growing up on the tree, what we want to do is we want to treat this with a 41% glyphosate solution straight onto this vine here. So we want to cut it about 2 to 3 feet above the ground, and we're going to put 41% glyphosate on that. If we see any regrowth from that spot, we're going to want to put 5 to 10% concentration of glyphosate on any regrowth that we see from that spot. So in retrospect, I probably should have used a chainsaw instead of machete on this one because it's pretty thick. But we want to treat that stump right there with the glyphosate. Now let's go take a look at some poison ivy growing out in the woods so that you can see it kind of in a different setting. And we'll also take a look at a Virginia creeper, which is a look-alike, looks very similar to poison ivy. Whew. When we've got poison ivy coming up along the ground like we do here, you can use that glyphosate at a 5 to 10% concentration to spray on to it. 2,4-D is another option for it, or triclopyr works really well too. Those are 3 different herbicides that you could use for poison ivy that's growing up along the ground. So wild blackberry can also have leaves in groups of threes, but this is not poison ivy. This is a blackberry. We see the thorns on it. That's going to kind of give us a clue that it's not poison ivy. Poison ivy is not going to have those thorns on it. So this is something that we'd want to leave, not something that we'd want to cut down. So here we can see the Virginia creeper, which is growing right next to some poison ivy, and you can see how these look pretty similar. Both are growing up on this tree, but the Virginia creeper, that leaf edge is much more serrated usually than the poison ivy is, and the leaves are usually in groups of 5 on the Virginia creeper. They'll be from 3 to 7. Most of the time they're going to be in groups of 5 though. Usually Virginia creeper is not too problematic of a plant, although it can become pretty aggressive in some situations, in which case you would treat it the same way as you treat the poison ivy. If you've got questions about identifying or treating poison ivy on your property, around your place, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and I'd be happy to help you out. Hey Oakley, you want to be in the video? Hey girl.